Welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. Now, Volkswagen since 2010 has been trying to nurture Indian motorsport talent. They've cranked up things just a notch in 2012 and offered a better package in the form of the 2012 Polo R-Cup car. Bert got a chance to get behind the wheels at the Buddh International Circuit, drive it flat out. He's clearly had a ball. Take a look.
The 2012 Polo R-Cup challenge is going to start off in a couple of months, but there's a lot of changes, and the biggest one is this. The Polo R-Cup has an all-new race car. The carbon fiber air intakes on the hood are the first indication that something big has changed under the hood of the Polo R-Cup race car. And that big change is the new 1.4 litre petrol, turbocharged and supercharged direct injection engine. Now the turbocharger, well, that kicks in about 2600 RPM. The supercharger, that's in place for the low end kick, and that's activated right from the word go. Now this engine makes about 180 horsepower with about 250 Nm of torque. It's way more powerful than the diesel they used last year, and that raises the game by several notches compared to what it was previously. The racing is definitely going to get a lot more competitive, it's going to get a lot more faster. And of course, one of the big plus points of this car is the exhaust. You can actually, for a change, hear this engine working its way around the circuit. Now this engine is mated to a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and that's got both Triptronic and a sport mode. So the drivers, the participants are going to have paddle shifts on the steering wheel with which to change gears, or the sport mode will do it automatically for them. All of this in the drivetrain is also an LSD included, and well, as you know, the LSD, well, it improves dynamics on a track. From the outside, well, not much has changed in this area. The suspension is still the same as before, as the last year's car. The rubber also is still the same. JK Tyre provides the tyres for this car. However, as the racing season gets closer, they're going to provide a tyre with better compound, because the racing definitely is getting closer, it's getting a lot tighter, and the cars, well, they need a lot more grip in this area, and JK will provide better rubber for these cars. However, the most significant change in this car, well, is the brakes. The calipers, they're 4-pod calipers now, and the discs have grown larger, and that's also because the cars are so much more faster. You need better stopping power, and that comes, well, right from here. Now, one small concern that most of the drivers had during the last championship seasons, was that the car at the rear was a little bit flighty. Especially if you were racing at Coimbatore and you braked hard, the rear, well, it would really step out of its line. Now that issue has been addressed thanks to this spoiler that's coming at the back. So it's got better aerodynamic efficiency, and it's got a lot more stability, especially when you're attacking the corners. So you're able to attack those corners a lot harder and a lot faster. That is going to make the racing more interesting to watch.
On track, the new Polo R-Cup race car feels quicker. It accelerates much harder. Of course, that's also because it's a petrol, and it even sounds like a race car, though not a very loud one. This engine, which is sourced from the Golf GTI, is very responsive. It's not punchy, but very linear. The supercharger and turbo keeps the drivability strong, so you don't need to slip below third gear to keep the car in its power band. The DSG transmission, however, is a bit iffy in sport mode. It does sense the right gear to get into while downshifting, and does it quickly enough, but a manual would have been a nice touch and given more control to the driver, as well as tested their skills better. The new Polo R-Cup race car, in fact, feels like a point-and-shoot camera, and that to me is a fantastic thing, because it makes learning to race a lot easier. As one of the first stepping stones to a larger career in motorsport, this car now takes away a couple of the tasks, allowing first-time racers to focus on other areas that will improve their skills.
So this is what the 2012 season Polo R-Cup race car looks like. Now I, for one, am very eager to get into this car and race it, especially at the media races, and hopefully, just hopefully, repeat my performance that I had last year. But what I can say is that the next generation of racers that are going to participate in the races and compete for, well, glory. They're definitely going to have a phenomenal time in this car. It's going to get a lot more competitive. It's going to get a lot more interesting to watch. And well, they're definitely going to go places with this series. So you keep watching for the races. We're going to have it on CNBC as well.